Now we're coming up on 13,000 miles on the MT09, and we're trying to ride it as much as possible while the weather's really nice. We found a cool old tractor to check out today. And at the end of the day, it rained a little bit, and we had a wonderful, wonderful rainbow right over our house. It was really nice. So when I look back at this day, I think, how much better than this does it get? You get an MT09, you get a rainbow, you get fresh tomatoes out of the garden, and I don't know. This bike never disappoints me. Any day I look forward to riding it. At the end of the ride, I think, wow, did I make a good choice buying this bike? Now this morning, we want to get out of here as early as possible. It's supposed to go into the 90s by midday. What else is new? We've had the hottest summer I can ever remember. We're wearing out our summer riding gear, but we're still getting a ride every day. And it seems the first thing every day, no matter what, no matter how I arrange this garage, the bike I want to ride is always in the back. Today is no exceptions. We got to play musical motorcycles. I always think part of my daily routine, and it's good exercise, moving all these bikes around. And no matter how I do it, I never have the bike I want right up in front and all set to ride. Well, I always look at the modern technology and that good old-fashioned old technology. And of course, the best of all worlds is to have them both in your collection. Now this looked like it was going to be a super, super nice day. And of course, we don't believe the weathermen anyway. Anytime they've been telling us there's only a small chance of rain, and we've escaped sometime. We've gotten wet a few times. But no matter what, I want to have a clean bike. I want to have it pre-flighted and check all the things that normally would be a problem if they don't get checked. And I want that radar detector. Oh man, that saves my bacon on every ride. And before I can leave, I have the usual things to do with the fish and the flowers and every possible thing here. That the tomatoes have to be watered in. Karen's got a banner of harvest of tomatoes lately. You don't even see them in the picture, but they're inside the plant. And she's gotten hundreds of tomatoes this year. And the flowers, all of the flowers, we just love the whole garden, the yard, the pond, the whole backyard. It's such a big part of our life, and I enjoy every minute of working on it.
Let's go, kids, and don't bite the hand that feeds you. Literally, don't do that.
Now, the last couple of months have all been the same. The days have started out hot and gotten hotter, and they always predict rain in the afternoon, and most of the time it never comes. It just gets cloudy. But we are really, really getting a lot of riding in, and this is what the whole objective of what we're doing is, to wear some tires out, and we are getting that done. Now these are Michelin 5s, and we're right in the middle of the test that we wanted to do. We put these on when we painted the wheels silver. They were brand new, and I'm keeping very accurate track of the mileage and watching the wear bars inside, and they are wearing very well. anytime I'm out on the MT09, using that quick shifter is just so much fun. And that, I've said it so many times, but it's really true. If you've never ridden a bike with a quick shifter, you're missing a lot of fun is what it boils down to. Now, I had passed this a couple of times already, and I wanted to stop and take a look at it. I was hoping there'd be a guy out in the backyard I could ask him about it, and then find out if that was his personal tractor or if he bought that on eBay or whatever. It really was pretty cool. And the more I looked at it, I was to the tractor museum in South Dakota. There's a tractor museum with steam. They're steam-powered tractors. And the steam-powered tractors are the equivalent of locomotives, steam locomotives. They burn coal, they have a smokestack, they probably set things on fire from time to time. This looked like a really interesting piece of equipment. Now, very often when I'm on a ride like this and I just slow down the pace a little bit and start looking off to the side, every once in a while I see something like that tractor, or I've seen antique cars, I've seen farm vehicles, or you never know what people have in their backyard, because this really is, in reality, this is farming country. Now, that old tractor reminded me, Karen and I have driven across South Dakota more than one time. Cross country, we went several times. And as always, South Dakota is an amazing state. Of all the states I've ever been to, they have the most interesting, it's hard to describe how many things there are in South Dakota. And because this bike has such a nice quiet exhaust and it's really tuned for low-end torque, Yamaha did an amazing job. I think that exhaust system is one of the things that makes this bike, I think, such a keeper in my case. And when you're going through these populated areas, it's okay in farm country to be loud. As you get into the populated parts of the ride, being quiet and stealth is great. Now, one thing, when you ride this bike, if you're not used to the power band and you're used to an R6, say, and you're always wanting to ring it out, this bike, you just leave it in a gear too high, put it in relaxing mode, and it's got that beautiful, beautiful low-end torque. Now, whenever I stop and take pictures or little video snippets along the ride, I always think, it took me 2 years to get this bike to where it was I consider it mine. The changes I made were all labor intensive, and I think some of them were very unique. And I think the final product is, and it's something I'm real happy with, and I will have this bike forever. Now you heard the beep, the radar detector just went off, and right up around the next bend, guess what was there? I'll leave it to your imagination. And I really only had one today, but that one, well, one for sure, could have ruined my whole day. Now, it's interesting to me that this bike does not have a muffler as such. It just has a catalytic converter. And Yamaha decided to just eliminate the muffler and put the baffles in the catalytic converter. I wonder if other manufacturers have decided to do that. Just think, if you don't need it, it's just an extra part hanging off the side of the bike. And this thing is nice and quiet, too. And boy, if there's one thing that'll really spoil you very quickly with this bike, one of the first things I noticed is 50 miles a gallon. And it seems like when the gas goes up in price, this bike looks shinier and shinier and nicer and nicer. And Yamaha did a great job of wringing plenty of power out of it, and still at the end of it, getting such good mileage. Now, in the very beginning, when I had the bike and I only had it for a couple of weeks, the offset instrument cluster, I was thinking, how am I going to change that and put it in the middle of the bike? And as I've grown to use the bike more and more, between the windshield and the instruments, I like it. And there was really no problem. The mirrors that came with the bike were good, but these are even better by about an inch. And that 1 inch, being able to see behind me, to me, it's worth every penny. Now, it's unusual in a 3 or 4 hour ride to only have one Valentine save, but today, I guess everybody was at the donut shop or something. But I like it that way. I wish you didn't need that Valentine, but to ride this area and not want to pay fines to the government, it's almost a must. And for most of this ride, there wasn't a cloud in the sky, and there was a few clouds from time to time. But basically, I was wondering, why did they even predict rain today? But you never know. I never know how they do that, and I don't need to know, and I really don't want to know. I just don't want to have it rain on my parade unnecessarily. And I know it's not going to be long, and pretty soon the leaves are going to start changing. We're going to see the orange, the yellow, the brown, the red. The rides are just for that whole month or two are just going to get nicer and nicer and nicer. But we have had a great summer. What makes this area special to me is the variety of roads, that some are just totally different than the others. Some are bumpy, some are smooth, some are in the shade, some are in the sun. Some are just a lot of switchbacks and hairpins, and some are just like this. Just hold it wide open and lean over. And it's about this point in the ride, coming up to the end, that I appreciate the ergonomics of the bike. The bars, the seat, the pegs all seem to be suited for somebody about my height and about my body size. And that part of the bike actually was one of the selling features to me. And this is what's really nice about this area too. Toward the end of the ride, you can find some nice shade, shoot some pictures in the shade, or just ride the shady roads. Because it really did get, at the end of this, it did really get up there. So one of the things I try to do when I shoot the video, I shoot it from the chest camera. I try to capture the feel of how it feels to ride this bike or whatever bike we're riding, and what the roads are like, and what it's like to go on a 3 or 4 hour cruise around this area. It's a very scenic area, but what happens to me every single day, I have a time that I'd like to be back home, and I look down at my little clock and it tells me time to get back to the farm. What a beautiful day, baby. You gonna go harvest some tomatoes? All right, go harvest some MT09s. We gotta find tomato plants that grow Michelin tires. That bike is coming up on 13,000 miles. The tomatoes are in full bloom here. It was a beautiful day today, except it got hot at the end, which is the typical. It has just been a summer of wearing tires out. It is really, I can't imagine, remember the last day I didn't get a ride, unless I was doing something else. It's been a great summer, and I hope you've enjoyed sharing it through the videos with us. So our weatherman was right. After I had put the bike away and we had lunch and sat on the porch for a while, we did get some light rain today. But the rain, we need the rain anyway. And what happened is, at the end of the rain, I went out to check everything, and we had the most beautiful rainbow right almost on top of the house. Look at this, a rainbow. Holy mackerel. Right over Rutherford, New Jersey. A rainbow. Wow, is that romantic? Makes me want to marry my motorcycle. And boy, if that isn't the perfect end to a perfect day, I don't know what is. That is a wonderful way to end the day. And note it, we didn't even get one drop of water on us. As a free bonus. And that rainbow, I don't know that it could be any nicer than that. That was just a great way to end a great day. And this one is now in the bank. And so the objective of our channel is to share our passion for motorcycling Most of it involves older motorcycles, restoration, painting wheels, polishing ports. But that's all only so that we have bikes to ride, and that each one we ride is different than the other ones. And that's what I call my humble bike collection. 4 of them are historically registered. The 3 modern ones are very different than the historic ones. And that's what makes my involvement in motorcycling very interesting to me and challenging, coming up with new modifications, new color schemes, and of course, all summer, I want to have them all ready to go and ready to ride, and I want to be very aggressively wearing out tires. And thanks so much for watching.